Good day, guys. Today, and welcome to part 2 of the MEGA-CADE. Okay, if you're just joining us and you haven't seen part 1, then, well, basically you're missing out on part 1. So follow the link on the screen now, and that will take you to part 1 and explain everything that I'm doing here. If you are joining us from part 1, then welcome. Welcome, my friend. Come on in. In this tutorial today, then, what we're going to be doing is setting up our, I suppose you would call it an operating system. We need some kind of baseline on our Pi so we can get it up and running and start adding to it, configuring it, and get all our systems and so on and so forth all set up and configured on our Pi. But we need somewhere to start. So what I need is for you to basically install RetroPie onto your SD card. Now, the way we do that is, first of all, go into the description below. In there you will see a link to either a website. On there you will find the link to RetroPie version 3 beta 3. Now that's going to be our base, like I said, that we're going to be working from. However, if it's been upgraded or if that's missing, I'm also going to start uploading it onto the Mega site, and you can download it directly from there. So at least we're all singing off the same hymn sheet. Okay, well that's that out the way. Get that downloaded. It should end up on your desktop. All you need to do then is, well, it's most probably compressed. So you're going to have to uncompress it, unzip it, decompress, whatever the fuck you want to call it, onto your website. And you will be ending up with something similar to this, which is a disk image. Now just to make sure you've got the right one. File type, as you can see, IMG. Okay, so basically what that does is it's an image that we're going to place onto our SD card. We then place the SD card into the Pi, we boot it up, and that will give us a starting platform for us to develop, to evolve. Imagine it if you wish we were a caterpillar and we've just turned into a chrysalis, or whatever you call it, and we're going to bloom into a big media frenzy within our Pi setup. Okay, so now you've got that downloaded, we're all tickety-boo. Now what you need is the software to actually put it on there. Again, in the description below, there's going to be some links. Download those. We should end up with the SD formatter and Win32 disk imager. Install both of those on your computer. They're nothing heavy. It's like a couple of megabytes maximum for the pair of them. They are very useful tools, especially when you're working with your Pi. So I implore you to actually keep them on your system, because they are very useful bits of kit. So first off then, right, let's get stuck in. We've got all the bits and bobs we need to move forward with. Let's actually move forward. So grab your SD card. Now I did warn you that you will need an SD card reader writer or something or so forth. So what I want you to do now is actually plug your SD card in whatever way you are doing it into your PC. Okay, now what we need to do is actually make sure we know what drive it is that it's on the PC. So load up my computer. Obviously you might have a different operating system, but the principles are all still the same. So what we need to do is look for the area that it's got. Now, I told you that I'm using a 32 gig SD card, the Samsung Evo. Now, basically I've just set all mine up, so I don't really want to uninstall it or reformat it or do whatever just to show you how to do it again, because, you know, it'll piss me off. So what I have got is exactly the same SD card. However, this one's a 16 gigabyte version. I'm going to use this as the experimental, or the guide SD card, to show you how everything's done. So bearing in mind, yours will probably say, if it's blank or unformatted or whatever, that it's a 32 gig or whatever your size is. Minimum, guys, that you want to be looking for is a 4 gig SD card. But bear in mind that the smaller the SD card, the less you can fit on, the less games. So, you know, there's some things to take into consideration there. 32 gig I think is a sweet spot. You see, after that, what we're going to be doing later on in our videos is adding a, well, for my install, I want to add a USB hard drive. That way I can fit my entire PlayStation collection, my Dreamcast games and things like that onto the Pi. So basically I've got the fucking complete setup on there, plus a few movies and all that kind of good stuff. But yep, that's later videos. For now, let's focus on this. Let's get this fucking figured. So what you need to do is find the drive that it is. So I know mine's about 16 gig. It's showing up here that it's 15 gigs. There's always something stupidly different, but I know that it's F drive. Please, I implore you, make certain before you do anything, you know what drive letter your SD card is once inserted onto your computer. So I know mine's F drive. Okay, so we can get rid of that for now. Now what I want you to do, open up the SD formatter on your desktop. Asking for permissions. It should turn all these permission shit off, to be honest. Right, so what it's doing now is this is going to format our SD card. There's no need to do anything special here. It's fucking bare basics. You can probably work this bit out yourself. Main thing is, though, ensure that you have the right drive letter in there. Size, don't worry about that. It should do it automatically. And all you need to do is format. It should come up with a few notifications or kicking off at me. So data may be received after a quick format. Do you want to continue with the quick format? Yes, I do. Do not remove the drive during the format. Oh yeah, that's what I definitely do. I click OK now, then I'd fucking eject it straight away. Just do it with it. Okay, that was quick. So it's complete. It's telling me that basically it's put the FAT32 file system onto my SD card. Just the way it's configured, the way it's formatted. Total space, it's giving me that, basically 16 gigabyte, however it's showing up as 14.9, and the cluster size, yeah, whatever, bothered, get out of my life. So that is that bit complete. We've now formatted our SD card. Now what we need to do is actually put the image onto the SD card that we've done. So basically so far we've got the SD card ready, or the hard drive kind of thing, I suppose, in terms of the RETROPIE. Pi itself, Raspberry Pi. So now we need to actually put the image that we just downloaded on there. Think of this as like an operating system. So yes, kicking off again. Okay then, this is where we need to start to concentrate. First off, as I said, you will have uncompressed, decompressed, unzipped, or whatever the fuck it is, this onto your desktop. As you can see, once done, it's a 1.95 gigabyte image. So what we need to do is open up this little directory thing. We need to point this at our image file. So I know mine's on my desktop. Click on there, scroll down, and as you can see, RetroPie version 3 beta 3 on the desktop. Click OK, open, and if all is good, it should show up there, and the image should be ending in IMG to show that it's the right file. I'm sure that if it's the wrong sort, it'll start kicking off on you anyway. But there you go, that's that bit. Now we need to make sure that we're actually installing this on the correct device. So if you've got any external hard drives and stuff like that, please take note here. It's only letting me do it on the F drive, but if you've got a numerous abundance of drives plugged into your PC, then the last thing you want to do, like I did the other week, is install a 1.95 image onto a 4 terabyte hard drive and wipe out everything that you've got on there with no way of going back. So yeah, don't do that, guys. So ensure you've got the right place. So what we need to do now is, once we've got the right drive, we've got the right image, everything is tickety-boo, click write. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, I do. Okay, so this may take some time, depending on the computer, the speed of your SD card, and the actual image, and, well, all the variables. It's going to take some time, probably a few minutes. So what I'm going to do now is, to save you hanging around, I'm going to, well, rejoin you in a second. Okay then guys, so basically we've just set up the SD card. We can now transfer that SD card from your computer and place it into your Pi 2. So I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs and actually go through the process of showing you how to plug a USB device into a USB socket. That's just fucking anal, guys. Come on, keep with me here. But what I will tell you is, you need to have plugged in at this point your wireless keyboard and mouse, or wired keyboard and mouse, doesn't make any difference. You won't need these in the long run. This is just for the configuration and setup of this system. Once it is set up, you can discard these and put them wherever you want. We don't need all that clunky stuff going on. You will also need your wireless or wired controller. I would say wireless because that's the one I use, so I can aid you more along that process. However, if you got wired, let's have a go. You know, depends how you want to play it. You will also need your Wi-Fi dongle or USB device plugged into your Raspberry Pi. Your HDMI cable plugged in, and obviously the other end plugged into your TV. Come on, guys, keep with it. And also your power cable. And if you've not done so already, put in your SD card. Don't forget, some of them have adapters. You may need to take it out of your adapter because it's only micro SDs that fit in the Pi 2. It's not old school like the Pi 1. It actually keeps up with modern times and use the micro SD. So once all that's done, plug it in, get it all powered up, and we should get the boot in on the screen. Okay then, so our Raspberry Pi is booted up for the first time, and you should be greeted with a screen the same as this, or at least very similar. Basically, it's asking us to configure our input as it says on the screen. Now, we should be using our Xbox 360 pad at this point, but you can use keyboard if you wish. I'm going to use my 360 pad because that's the way I roll at the end of the day. So what it's asking is to hold A button on your device to configure it. So I'm going to press down on the button on my control pad for a few seconds. Brings me up with this. Now it wants me to follow the on-screen prompts and press the button for each one of these directions or key inputs. So it's common sense, guys. I'm going to press D pad up, down, left, right. I'm going to press the start button, select button, A, B, X, Y, left bottom, right bottom, left top, right top, left thumbstick press down, right thumbstick press down, left analog stick up, down, left, right, right analog stick up, down, left and right. Now when I'm down to the bottom, I can press the A button to say OK, I confirm. Now this may take a few seconds, don't worry, it's not hung or it's not crashed or anything like that. It's just setting config files for each one of your emulators that are pre-configured and for your menu system. Because by setting those controls, not only are we setting it up for the menu system, now in the current version of RetroPie, it's also setting up 90% of your emulators with the same controls also, although we will have to do some tweaking and fixes here and there because there still is bugs. Now, next thing we need to do is quit out of here. Oh, no. Yep, you should be greeted with a screen similar to this. This is all your default systems already put on there. Again, we're going to be going through and sorting all this fucker out because it's a mess at this moment in time. But first things first, before we even get stuck into the games or configuration, we want to set up some of the bare basics on this system. So click on to the RetroPie option, click A. Now go down to the Raspberry Pi configuration tool. Raspberry Pi configuration tool, Raspberry config. My apologies for the fucking poor video quality at this point of my setup. Because this is the first time I'm using this, I'm unable to do the screen capture because basically I won't be able to show you half the things that's going on. So I'm having to use my mobile phone. So hopefully we'll bear through. I'll try and comment as much as what I'm doing so you can follow verbally as much as visibly. Okay then, at this point we're no longer able to use our 360 pad, we have to use a keyboard. So cursor keys up and down and enter button to press OK on a option. So in this case we want option 1, which is expand file system. Click on that. Basically what that's done is when we installed RetroPie or our disk image onto the SD card, we imported it into the RetroPie, turned it on. It inflated itself to the size of the image. So in essence, it turned the SD card from whatever size it was into the size of the image, which was just under 2 gigs, I believe. Now, obviously, we want to use our SD card to its full extent, so we can put things like games, movies, and all that kind of good stuff on there. We can't do that when we've only got 2 gigs of room, especially considering we've probably got much larger SD cards. So this option basically is to expand the SD card to its full extent possible. So it's saying that by doing this, clicking OK, it will do this, however it won't take place until its next reboot. So click on OK. Next thing we want to do is advisable, but I'm not telling you to do it, is go to the overclock option. I've never had any issues with this whatsoever. However, you know, I'm not saying it's the same for everybody. I know that everybody does it, but, you know, don't hold me liable if your pie fries. Click on OK. Go down to Pi 2 option, which is the last one, and it says Pi 2, 100 megahertz ARM, 500 megahertz core, 500 megahertz SD RAM, 2 overvolt. Click on that one, press enter, select overclock to preset Pi 2. Yes, I do want to do that, and that's it. It's done. Now there are other options that we will be doing further on down the line, but for now that's the bare bones of us to get done. Now at this point what we want to do is press right with the cursor keys. That will then bring us down to the lower options. What we want to do now is go right again to go onto the finish option and click finish. It should now ask us, would you like to reboot now? And the option is yes, so we can basically enlarge our SD card. Now this may take a little bit for it to sort itself out. Basically it's gonna sort out the SD card, make it the size that it should be from the very beginning. So it's just a case of going through all that, booting it all back up to our original screen, and it should, to be honest, look no different. However, when we start to do things, it should run smoother, and the SD card should be at its full extent, ready for us to rumble. The next stage that we're going to be doing now is going on to the RetroPie option again, and now we're going to enable Wi-Fi. By enabling Wi-Fi, that then puts our Pi on our local network. So if you've got Wi-Fi in your house, basically what this will do is get it up and running on that network. So click on RetroPie, go down to the configure Wi-Fi option, click on the A button, and this should bring us up with like a little config-y looking thing. It looks old as shit, doesn't it? My apologies if you can't read this very properly due to my phone camera, but at the top you've got wireless networks, and it should show whatever wireless networks it's picking up. As you can see, that's my wireless network which is transmitting. Sky Television, thank you very much. You gave me the best deal, so I chose you, even though it did take you 2 months near enough to actually install it for me. So what we need to do now is click on the once I figure out what the key is again. Oh, well, it's not that one. Configure Wi-Fi, go back into it again. Sorry guys. I don't want to there we go. So basically what we're pressing is control and right on the cursor pad thing, whatever it is you call it. Okay, now what we need to be doing is going down with our cursor keys. As you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen very well. I'm not sure if you can see it at all, to be honest, with my camera. But on the left hand side, if you go up and down with the cursor keys, you'll see these little boxes and the cursor flashing within those boxes. You want to go to the box that says automatically connect to this network and press the enter key. That will put an X within that box, which is the one that you want. You do want it encrypted. Obviously I'm supposing that you guys are working on an encrypted network, and then you want to put the key into whatever network it is that you just chosen. So excuse me for a second while I actually find my key. My key is, you can all read it because I'm sure that you're never going to find where I live to actually use it, and if you can get a good speed rather than me, then so be it. YP, I think it's YP WQQ. You probably see my head while I'm reading this. QQTXB. TXB. There you go. The whole world now knows my wireless key. Nah, I'm going to change this afterwards, just in case any of my neighbours are watching. And then it says at the bottom there, press F10. Okay. Okay, so that should now be set up. So as you can see at the bottom again, you can see the keys, the hotkeys to do various things. What we've done is just configure it. Now what we need to do is actually connect to that network. So hopefully by pressing Control C, that will now connect to that network. However, let me just go back in and make sure that did take place. As you can see down the bottom on the left hand side, it's connected. Thank you very much, ball ache. And as you can see, it's notified by a big green stripe going through the wireless networks. Okay, so now press Control Q, quit out of here basically, go back to the RETROPIE, and that's about it for now. Okay then, so far we've installed our image onto the SD card, we've put the SD card into the Pi, we've actually configured the operating system while the Pi's been on, we've opened it up, we've put it on the network, and now we're actually ready to start configuring the actual systems so we can, well, play them at the end of the day. So the good thing about doing it this way, as in terms of on the local network, means that I can basically log into my Pi without fucking around too much. So all we need to do is go to my computer, this PC, and as you can see, the bottom left hand corner, I've got network, and within my network I have got laptop and RETROPIE. Common sense, people. You will have to have your Raspberry Pi plugged in and working as you're doing this, to be honest. So plug it in, as long as it's up and running with Wi-Fi. Because you tick the box that it will automatically do it, even if you've turned it off and on again. Just give it a bit of time once it's actually been turned on to sync up, get connected to the network and settle in a little bit. It usually takes a couple of minutes, but once that's done, basically all the other computers on the network within your house or your residence or whatever it is you live, I don't know, some of you might live in teepees and caravans and stuff, I got no idea, and I'm not here to judge either. Well, once that's up and running, it's connected to the network, you should be able to pick it up, especially from your computer. Obviously, your other computer has to be connected onto the same network, otherwise that would just be stupid, wouldn't it? But yeah, that's the way it is at the end of the day. So now, like I said, click on your network in your left hand pane or wherever it is in your operating system. As you can see, this is the laptop, the one that I'm using right now, and this is my actual Pi setup. So when I double click into it, I can see the 3 shared folders. Now the 3 shared folders are the ROMs directory, the configs and the BIOS. Now don't get me wrong, on that Raspberry Pi there's fucking shitloads more folders, directories and information. However, these are the only folders which are being shared over the network. That's not too bad, don't get me wrong, I would like access to more, but for this early stage, that's all I need. So if you watched the previous video, you would have seen in there I give you a link to various ROM sets. Now let's actually get these up and running. So all we need to do is click into ROMs. As you can see in the ROMs folder, there are shed loads of folders already named and all ready to rumble. You don't have to fuck around with them too much. So let's get a few systems up and running. So I'm going to start you with the simple ones just so we can get this video out of the way. So I've already downloaded all my sets here. So I've downloaded, I've uncompressed, decompressed, unzipped, or whatever there is the fuck you do with them, into a folder named ROMs, which just so happens to marry up with all the ROMs that I've got here. Now all I need to do is actually, as an example, I'm going to show you the main. So main for all, the download that I gave you, all I need to do is basically click on one, Control A, drag it over and put it into main for all. Boom. Now hopefully by the gods of networks, come on gods of networks, there we go, it's now transferring all those files onto my Raspberry Pi. And I'm not even fucking up my Raspberry Pi. My Raspberry Pi at this moment in time is in the bedroom. How exciting is that? So I'm working on my laptop in the house. Now, this is going to be getting all our systems up and running. However, some systems are a bit more fussy. I'm going to tell you the ones to install for now, until our later videos when we actually go more in depth and start configuring them, well, a bit more into detail. Basically, all of them will work, but up to now, some of them are configured to work with keyboard and controller. I want to do everything just through the controller. So for now, the only systems I recommend installing at this point, which should be playable with only the joypad, are MAME, the Nintendo system, so Super Nintendo, the Game Boy, and then we're looking at the, let me think, the Mega Drive, the normal Master System, and what else have we got in here? Yeah, I think that should do. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's quite a few more, but they're going to need a little bit more configuration. For now, I just want to get you started, and to be honest, they're the most popular and the most up and running systems. So we've got MAME, we've got the Nintendos, and we've got the Segas. I mean, fucking hell, it's day one. Who can ask for more? You know? We'll be up and running in no time. Now, all of them will work off the bat. I mean, straight away, as soon as they're done copying, even, you know, while it's copying, you can actually log into your Pi and start playing these games. They've done it easily. Obviously, you just go into it, it'll choose whichever game you want. Now, the only issue with that is the MAME games themselves. You have to, let me see, press tab. In fact, should I show you this? Yeah, why not? I'm going to show you on screen. However, I've not installed the remote desktop yet, so we're going to have to do it through my phone again. Apologies guys, but let's do it. Alright, okay then guys. So, like I said, straight off the bat, the Sega Mega Drive, the Sega Master System, the Nintendo NES, and the Super Nintendo basically will work straight off the bat without any issues. As soon as you copy the ROMs over, basically as you scroll through all these, you will see, as you can see, I'm already installing MAME. As you put ROMs into them folders, it will automatically enable those systems. So the more you pull over, the more systems you've got enabled. However, some need configuration. Like I said, the Nintendos and then the Segas, like I just said, they will work off the bat. You just click onto them, scroll down, choose whatever game you want, and then it will load the game. To exit out of them and come straight back without using the keyboard, you press select and then start. That will then bring you back to your main menu. As you can see, I've got MAME. Now, in order to get MAME running, you are going to have to do some things, because although it is configured, it's not configured 100%. So there are some little workarounds within MAME to get it working the way it should be. So first off, we need to actually load a game. So let's go in there. Let's load, I don't know, Alien Storm. Dun, dun, dun. Look at it. So we've got Alien Storm up and running. Now what we need to do is actually enable a system. Enable the menu. So what we need to do is press tab on the keyboard. There we go. Now what we need to do is use the controller buttons. The cursor keys to go up and down. What I want to do is basically change some options. You can change them in game, however I want to get it overall in general set up for MAME. So click the top one, input general. Then what we need to do is I want to change the config menu, in other words what key you press to bring this menu up in game. I want to change it so I can use it with the control pad. So click on, press enter on there, and then press the key of whatever it is you want to use. So what I've done is press the actual Xbox button, the button in the middle of my control pad. And whenever I press that, when I'm in MAME, it will bring up this menu. How cool is fucking that? Now what I want to do is use the cursor keys again, scroll down to where it says UI cancel. Now by pressing escape, basically it will exit out of the game. However, like I said, we don't want to use the actual keyboard all the time. I want to use my joypad. So by doing enter on this again and then pressing select then start, it will give the same process as in every other system. So when I press select and then start, it will exit back to the main menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press enter and then I'm going to press select and then start. And there you go. So now when I press those keys together, it will exit out. Now I don't believe, let's have a look anyway though. I don't believe that, no, player 1 start isn't done, so I'm going to do player 1 start and then going to put obviously the start button. Again, you can go through all the keys on this in your own time, doing all the joypads for wherever you got enabled. And also I want to choose the coin button for my control pad also, so I'm going to do coin, and then I like the right thumbstick and I also like select. So either of those will insert coins. Now when I exit out of here, return to main menu and then return to game, I should be able to first off insert coins. There we go. And now press start to actually start the game. And I think most of my other controls should be configured already. You may have to go in there and use set them all up for whatever games you like, but for now, I mean, I'm up and fucking running at the end of the day. Now if I was to press that, it brings up my option menu again with the Xbox button, and if it was just like select and start, it would exit out and bring me back to the main menu. So there you go. I'm now using the complete systems without actually needing my control pad anymore. So there we go. We've now got main working. As your ROMs are copied over, you will have I don't know, fucking SNES, NES, Mega Drive, Master System, Game Boy will probably work as well, and I have a chance for a few others, but for now those ones will work without using the keyboard. Have a play yourself, however, if you fuck anything up, I'm not fixing it for you. Okay then, so now I've shown you how to get MAME configured. That's your main one set for now, and I think it's enough for us to be playing with today. We've got over the hurdle for now. That's all the hard part done. So 1 second and I'll join you back on my desktop. Okay then guys, welcome back to the desktop. Again, my fucking apologies for my camera work. Basically, there's nothing I can do until the system at least has been configured for me to remote in and actually give you good quality videos. But for now, hopefully the information got carried over and you got thus far in the setup without any hindrance whatsoever from my camera work. Okay then, so now we've got systems up and running on our Pi. There's still a long way to go. We've got a lot of the core stuff done. Basically, we've got the operating system on. We've got it configured to the way we like it. We've got the Wi-Fi working. We've got the controllers working. Keyboards up and running. For now, homework for the next video. Basically, I give you a huge ROM package. So basically, as long as you don't mind some games not working for now, you can start copying all the ROM packages over and put them in the relevant folders. Leave them as they are, don't fuck around. Basically, they come in a folder, put them in the exact folder where they exist on your SD card. Bring them over. They will take some time to be doing. They'll also be taking some time for you to be downloading them. Also, on the actual RetroPie itself, as you're flicking through the screen, if you press the start button, basically you'll be greeted with a screen. It says scraper. Go on to the scraper, go from scrape, and you can scrape from, I believe as default, the two options are games database and the archive. I usually use games database. Click on that, go to scrape ratings on. I like my ratings on. Do scrape now, and then basically you can choose the filter. I do missing images only, but because this is the first time of you guys setting it up, you will have nothing to overwrite there anyway, so it makes no difference. You may as well do it for all your systems. Use design conflicts. I'll put that off for now, because basically you just want to get all the information on there for now. We can start tweaking it on later, and then all you need to do from that moment on is press start. I would do that before you go to bed. Leave it overnight, let it take care of itself, because it takes fucking ages to download all the art and all the information for all the games that you're going to be putting on there. So I'd leave that overnight. The next day, boom, you're done, and now you're ready for the next video. So there you go. We're now up to the stage where we're getting all our systems in there. Now all we need to do is go that one stage further, configuring them properly. Then what we're going to be looking at is installing our media. So basically we're going to be doing it so we can watch our movies streamed online. We can watch any movie streamed online, should I say. Set it up so we can watch our movies from our network. Watch any channel in the world. Any music channel, any music radio station, all that kind of good stuff. What else are we going to be doing? We're going to be installing it so we can play our PC games on there and our HyperSpin setups if you have one. If you haven't, then I implore you also to watch my HyperSpin setups. It's well worthwhile. Okay then guys, that's it for now. I'm fucking knackered. We've done a lot today. We've got over the biggest hurdle of the actual initial install. From now on it's just tweaking configurations and, well, putting extra stuff on there. But at least you got something to play with for now, and you've got some homework to take away with you. Okay then guys, you have a good day, and don't forget, please like, subscribe, share, all the normal shit that goes along with normal YouTube videos. I don't charge anybody for this shit, but please, if you at least watching my videos, subscribe. Come on, be a devil. Alright then guys, catch you later, and bye.